All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys and gals. I want to do a bunch of lives this weekend. We're going to get a lot of them. Of course, you guys just saw the shoulder day vlog come up. Again, didn't go crazy. The 15 work sets, got in and out, got it done. I'll have some shorts and reels up for that later. But let's get over, let's talk about this topic of noble natties. So I get that all the time. People are like, these noble natties, they do this and that. They're not. Look, guys, nobody who's a fitness influencer has any reason to be natural. In fact, all of these people have every business reason to be a fake natty, to use gear and to lie to you about it. I'm sorry, but that is just a naive idea that anyone who's going to jump up and try to build an outreach and make their money in fitness is not going to use anything. I mean, let's not forget the fact that the quality of life benefits. Most people who use gear are very, very, very happy with their choice to do so. Okay. Used responsibly, the quality of life improvements are vast. The only talk is the risk in the long-term health. That is where the talk is. And even then, when stuff is moderate, that is less. They just not really showing a real concern. It just really doesn't. And I'm not saying it's not there. It's just not provable scientifically at this point. So be aware of that. So again, tons of these people who are like, they're so adamant about it. That's a sales pitch, guys. That is a sales pitch as a businessman to convince you to buy their products. IT. So what did I just tell you? Like why would a person think that? Also, who's Alpha Destiny? At least give the man enough credit to not use that beta incel name that he used to use when he was a young, silly kid. At least treat him like a grown man. Okay, that's at least have some basic respect. Okay, he knows that was a goofball incel name. He's using his real name now, which is arguably a superior, better name, right? So please type his name in and I'll answer the question. Is that fair? I mean, don't be a dick to the kid. He's not even a kid anymore. He's a grown man. All right. But let's get over back to that point, guys. That is a sales pitch by people. And anyone who really goes, oh, this person who has this outreach and is making this money and doing this is natural because they say they are. I'm sorry. That is absurdly, ridiculously naive. Like the sort of person who believes that is the sort of person who becomes a flat earther. Well, because this person on the internet, they told me the earth was flat. I mean, you're literally at that point when all common sense and evidence would tell you why would they even, it would make sense for them to use at least something. It doesn't have to be a lot. Keeping in mind when people think of an enhanced physique, you're thinking of grams and grams and grams of gear, plus growth hormone, plus insulin, right? That's not steroids. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind with those topics, guys, when you're looking at people out there. Like what you guys think of, oh, that's definitely enhanced physique. That's not steroids at that point. That is a ton of stuff. That is a whole cocktail of things that they're creating now. Okay. Those guys aren't using a little bit of test and EQ, right? That's not what produces that bodybuilder physique. It doesn't. It will never do it. You can have 50 pounds less muscle if that's all you do. All right. So be realistic about it, guys. So let's get over to some of your guys' questions. But IT, if you asked the question correctly, but I feel like I already answered it. Is that fair? Right. I think that's totally fair. All right. Can turkey bacon be a part of a healthy diet? I mean, dude, it's got a bunch of nitrates. I mean, is it a refined red? Is it a processed red meat? No. Is it still got a bunch of nitrates and crap in it? Yes. Is it going to have a lot less saturated fat and not the and other stuff? Okay, sure. But is it really particularly healthy? I mean, do you really want to eat a bunch of nitrate-laden lunch meat? I mean, realistically speaking. What do you think of the Smith machine squat compared to the standard barbell squat? There's no comparison. I don't like Smith machine squats. I don't see the point. I don't see why anyone does them. Just go to a leg press at that point, right? Just go to a leg press or a hack squat if you just want to be locked in a path. They're arguably better. My opinion. I don't have a lot of use for the Smith machine. Do you remember the name of the YouTuber who looked like a Jack Viking? No idea. You have to be very specific. I remember seeing him around in 2014. I mean, you're going to have to be specific in who this was and what he did. I mean, I'm not sure who you're talking about. I mean, you could be. Are you talking about the golden one? You're talking about Marcus Follin, or are you talking about somebody completely different? I mean, I knew Marcus. I had some video calls with him way back in the day a few times. If that's who you're talking about. If I understood it correctly, you think Leonidas is definitely not. I mean, IT, what do you think? I mean, use some common sense. I mean, I feel like I'm telling you guys information, giving you the ideas to think these things through and use your brain a little bit. So do you think there's any possibility he's natty? I'm asking that as a serious question. Like objectively, like if your life was on the line, like if right now, if God could tell for sure if he was natural, like objectively no, and you had to bet your life on the fact right now. Okay. So I'm asking you a serious question, IT. Right now, if you could know for an absolute fact with certainty, okay, exactly, you wouldn't bet your life on it. If you had to bet literally your life, or say your testicles were on the line, right on the chopping block. And it's like, is he natty or not? If you get it wrong, what you saying? You're saying, hell no, he's not natural. Because now you have something to lose. It's not just a hopeful marketing strategy. Ruben says, to be fair, the vast general population interested in gear or hyper strength or new sport. But Ruben, the vast majority of the population would also feel better on testosterone as part of that whole equation. And I know plenty of guys out there, they go get TRT or even a fairly high dose TRT who are not serious about those things. Okay? Who are not serious about those things at all. But they still do that because it improves getting them off the couch, feeling better quality of life. So if we're going to talk about the general population, they don't care about natural either. They just want results and they want to feel better. And a whole lot of them go to the doctor and get a testosterone shot for that purpose. It's the only natural obsessed people are a niche community online of people who are chasing these other goals but want to try to do. People who only care about the other, they're more inclined to be like, yeah, man, give me a shot of testosterone, doc, I'm good. That is your general population. What's your current stance on squat shoes? I feel like trying to improve ankle. I don't wear them. I mean, I think they have their place, but do you see me use them? At the moment, no. Alex says, I did Smith machine squats one time and my lower back pain was so bad the next day I couldn't work. Yeah, they're awkward. What's your favorite compound other than T and least favorite? Primo. I'll be fair. I like Deca and Masteron to some extent, but Primo Bowling, hands down. Least favorite, I mean, of common things, I mean, can we just exclude all the really, really crazy stuff? Least favorite is going to be Tron. The side effects are simply not worth it, and you can't keep the gains on it. Henry says, how's it going, Jason? Doing good, Henry. Do you think Michael Hearn, I don't know if I'm going to do more. I just thought about doing those because I was testing something with the lives on Facebook. I don't know if I'm going to do more of those. Do you think Michael Hearn is natty? No, and I love Mike's work. I love Mike's training advice. I love his approach. I love his philosophy to lifting, bodybuilding, all that stuff. Let me be clear. I think Mike is dialed in. I think he's a phenomenal source of information, but he is 100% not natty. The general population won't get on TRT unless they have subclinical levels. I don't know. I mean, but the general population also won't get in the gym either. So that's not an argument. The general population can't be bothered to even exercise. So if that's where we're going, then that's a problem. What caused you to fail your bench a few days ago? Triceps gave out. So it was just general tricep strength, right? Because that was the last set. Keep in mind, the second set with 315 looked really super clean, right? I was super happy with it. It moved really good on all the reps. That last set, my triceps gave out. I felt my triceps giving out. I could not lock it. My triceps were cramping and they just were not strong enough. So if anything, I would have got that if my triceps were stronger. So let me state that. So let's not make excuses. Let's call it like it is, dude. My triceps were not strong enough to complete that last rep of that last set with 315. Period. Flat out. I need to bring them tricepticons up. Right? Coach, would you do a natty or knots again? It would be awesome to see. Man, I could do that, couldn't I? You know what? I bet that would blow this channel back up. In addition to me actually looking better, having visible abs, 48, doing 500-pound box squats. I start calling out the fake natties again now. Maybe it's time, guys. Maybe it's time. Also, the Frenchman just got caught in a pretty bad lie. I can provide details. Antonio, send it on Facebook, man. I mean, he's been caught on all that before. Some people already mentioned that and everything. He's been caught in plenty of lies about me. The guy sits there and makes up crazy stuff about me, completely fabricated. That should be enough to say the guy clearly caught up in lies. Looking at Jason's arm veins, you can tell he definitely loves that there. Primo. I'm only on 300 milligrams of Primo, actually. But I do like Primo. I'm not going to lie, dude. Primo is called Primo for a reason. Yeah, it's not, maybe you could lose something. Is getting on testosterone for non-TRT users expensive? Not really. Yeah, I mean, EQ it's, don't get me wrong, I think EQ, which is boldenone and dicyclonate, I think it's a solid compound. I find it's just more problematic. Primo, it's just pretty much no side effects. Right? Whatever. Jeff says, asking hormones aren't the expensive parts, consistent blood work, ancillaries. Yeah, but that's where stuff like, dude, this is why I like Primo. Testing Primo handles your ancillaries. Although stuff for like lipids can be a bit of an issue, like if you need a statin or something, which sometimes can be helpful if you're going to run gear, you're getting older, like Lipitor. Lipitor is not that expensive. Jason will disclose his largest test amounts he ever took for a cycle. I get into that. I don't go over 500 these days. Just curious to what do cardio every day, and if so, how long to space it with weight training? I was doing cardio every day. At the moment, I am not. So I was spacing it about 30, 40 minutes after my lifting. No, Antonio, I don't need to do all that. I mean, I don't think we need to do all that. I don't need to start a war with a guy like that. I mean, I could, but I just don't care. Maybe, I don't know. I could stir something up if I really wanted to. It seems like controversy wins. I mean, that guy built himself calling me out, right? Right? Didn't he build himself up doing that to me? That's where he built an audience. Maybe it's time for me to go back to spit and fire on these fools. Yep. Odella says the golden one. Yeah, I think it's talking about Marcus Fullen. That's the golden one. Trauma gets views, unfortunately. Look at Coach Greg. Yeah, that's facts. Natty or Nuts will blow up this channel just to get 100 views reach. Please start with some of the newer guys in the industry. Man, I don't know who these newer guys are. I'm going to have to look into it. You guys are going to have to give me some information here. maybe it's time to do, maybe some of these Q&As, we can do that, and then we can segue into y'all's stuff afterwards, all right? We can segue into it. I think they work great for Q&As, because then I don't got to prep. I can just jump in front of the camera, look at the guy, go bam, that's where we're at, throw it in the title. I think that'd be a good way to do it. Then it's just live. We get y'all's live responses to me saying it. I think that's what we need to do. I think that's what we need to do. We shouldn't care about becoming meta. We shouldn't care about people's opinions about testosterone or demonizing it. Caring about the masses' opinion is a low testosterone mindset. Well, but I think that we need to be talking about everyone in the lifting world too, right? We need to be having those conversations. We need to be out here putting out information and telling the people that, hey, you don't need to demonize it. We need to be influencing people. Okay? Instead of worrying about the general population, we need to be telling people. Do you notice E2 lowering effects from Primo? Yes. From Master on? No. For me personally. Max, you seemed, hold on, let me get that name. All right, let's get that name. I'm gonna check that one out. You guys give me a bunch of them right now. All right, let's get some names from you people. I'm gonna start doing these. All right, give me some more of them, guys. We're gonna start doing some fake natty call outs real quick. I might do one today. Why don't you flex in your training videos? GVS, yeah, I mean, let's talk about GVS, right? We can call him out. He's definitely on gear. 100% chance he's on gear. That one shouldn't even be in question. Are we even questioning that? Is he claim natural? All right. Wait, GVS claimed natural and he only benches 245? Someone said, why I didn't flex. Well, here you go. I'm flex right now. But I do flex in some of those guys. You guys are seeing some quads. Like I did quad flexes for you guys yesterday. Did you watch the leg day? That guy claims natural. Are y'all serious? All right. So I need to start calling. What else we got? Let's get a list of people who y'all think need to be called out. Also, time to start advertising the New Year's coaching slots, isn't it? Basement bodybuilding. Killer body. Yeah, let's talk about basement bodybuilding. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we could definitely discuss Keno Booty. And I don't even dislike Greg, to be honest. Who's Tyrone? Is he a current person? Do we care? I'm not sure who that is. No, we need people who are current, man. We need people who are current. How about we call out Greg Doucette? Are EQ and VAR the only compounds? Nope. Primo, Nandrolone, all do it, right? I mean, let me be clear. Like Nandrolone is a hell of a drug on a lot of levels. It's just that there's some stuff you have to deal with, and the problem with Nandrolone is the fake muscle. It will fill you out with some fake bloat, and then so it's kind of obvious if you come off of it. Not as apparent as with Trend, but there is that. Yeah, I mean, they need to have enough following that we care. That people know who they are. I mean, if we're going to do it, let's do it right. Yeah, no, they really shouldn't be handing out ADEX. They really shouldn't. I agree with that, dude. But they're not going to because Primo and Masteron are no longer FDA approved. They were both FDA approved at one time in the US, by the way. So I think honestly the better route though, if someone wanted to go purely prescription stuff, you're better off just running a really low test and then running nandrolone from your doctor. Like that's what I would do. Like if money were no object and it was you were going to do everything at your local T clinic and have the doctor write scripts, I mean something like 100 milligrams a test and then as much Deca as you could tolerate and throw some growth hormone in would actually work ridiculously well from just pharma stuff, right? Just saying, guys. One thing is you're going to be full on it, like you're going to have crazy muscle fullness on a setup like that. So there's going to be some fake boof. Do you think Ian McCarthy? I have no idea what Ian's doing these days. The quality, Cliff says you mentioned the quality of life. No, dude, tests will absolutely give you quality of life. Just test online. Shoot, 150, 200 milligrams of test will go a long way. Jeff, because AI seem to impact your blood work more negatively and possibly hurt gains, whereas in DHTs don't hit your stuff as negatively and they add gains. In other words, let's say you're doing whatever 300 milligrams of test and then you use an AI, it will hurt your gains slightly, just a tiny amount. But if you add Primabol into your 300 milligrams of test, it will give you more gains while still controlling E2. Does that make sense? With less negative impact on things like your lipid profile. More gains, less negatives to your blood work. Now, could we argue maybe that's not the case at a certain threshold? You know, if someone's going to run a gamma test, okay, it might make sense to run a little bit of an AI if they want to do it on a budget. You know. Antonio, it's totally dependent on the person. I could give you the old school answer we had back in the day, but is that really the case? I mean, I would argue, yes, you're better off building a base first, like 300 bench, 400 deadlift, 500 deadlift, 400 squat, that old standard we used to have, that like that's what you need to do a cycle. That was the old school mindset. I don't dislike that mindset, but I mean, if a person says, "Hey, I'm going to do stuff," I'm going to do stuff, and I've seen people who started really early on, and that's their personal call. It's just my only concern is, do they learn how to train correctly first? That's the problem. It's not necessarily all about the base building. It's did they really learn how to train? So they're going to get the most out of everything. Becoming meta, I feel like a lot of doctors don't know that it's good to have estradiol high as possible as long as you don't have negative sides. I agree. Neuroprotective, heart protective, right? You don't want low estrogen. You do not want low estrogen. So people have to remember that. They're treating it like it's this terrible thing. And to be fair, even slightly elevated estradiol is not guaranteed to give you gyno, particularly in a really high androgen environment. It's actually fairly low risk. And I think guys forget that, especially if you're lean. Okay, especially if you're lean. You know, again, with a high androgen stack, your estrogen has to be pretty high before gyno risk actually become a real consideration. So that lets you know the guys who are getting the bad gyno from their blast, just how high their E2 really is. You know, but keep in mind, you're talking pro bodybuilders on 5 grams a test sometimes. So, you know, there's a point where it's a little hard to mitigate estrogen on 5 grams of testosterone. But 500, come on. Most of those studies on 500, 600 milligrams of test, they didn't even have elevated E2 outside of the normal range, did they? You guys remember some of those studies? You still plan on cutting down? I might. I might. Jason, do a percentage. I didn't use an exact percentage. I just used a ballpark, a 70-ish, whatever, with the chains and all that for last time I did it. But this week I didn't do speed work. I just dropped down to 410 and did a quick double after the top set. All right. Any theories on how Anadrol? Anadrol is such a weird drug that there's too many theories. I don't know the full answer. Keeping in mind, Anadrol is a very strange compound in the body. We don't fully understand everything it does at the receptor level and cross binding of receptors and stuff. It's a very strange substance, right? I mean, in theory, it shouldn't make you gain 20 pounds of water weight, but it can. But how much of that, though, is the synergy with other compounds? Because does that really happen in prescription? Men who are given only Anadrol in a clinical setting don't put on 25 pounds of water weight, even on 150 milligrams a day, do they? So how much of that is synergies, right? How much of that is synergies with all the tests and other stuff? There's other stuff at play. All right. Check a couple of these. My brothers are sending me stuff. You a fan of any orals? Not really. I mean, bar can have its place. What was my first experience with gear when I was younger, in my 20s? The bros at the gym helped me out, and it was Sust and Deca, all from Mexico. And then Clomid for PCT, because that's how goofy we were back then. I'm going to be a nurse practitioner in 6 months. Eventually want to open my own clinic. Cool, man. Good stuff. Like I said, the problem with VARs in general is really the impact on lipids and stuff over time. Right? That's our big concern. And it's something we do need to be concerned with. Right? All right, what else you guys got? It was trying to die out. We had more people. It's starting to trickle down. We better keep this more lively. We better get it more lively. I might need to get ready and save some of this for some Natty call outs. I guess people will start giving me names. Hey, now, what's up, Bert? Well, Bert, get in. Let's get some lively chats going. Let's keep people. Yeah. But Sam, oftentimes I think about 70% is a good place, because I don't know who all's out there in the industry. Antonio, so yeah, toss me some names, man. Who do you guys want to see me do Natty or Knots on? My audience is sitting here. People have asked for it. Drop me some names. In fact, you guys could drop the names in the comments later too. Perfectly fine. We'll do GVS. All right, we'll do GVS. I'm checking out my messages. All right. So we might do that tonight. Well, they aren't Natty, Bert, Alec, and Kiri. Has Alec got a big following these days? Alec just unfriended me at some time, but I don't even know why. I guess over a bunch of political nonsense or whatever. It used to be cool. All right. Revival Fitness. Do I need to do? I mean, Revival took pop shots at me for no reason. So maybe we need to add him to the list. Investigate, determine if he might be natty or not. All right. So hold on, got a couple other messages I was had coming through. Natty or not on Michael Hearn, even though it's pretty obvious. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's go ahead and throw that in. Yeah. Mm. We already added basement bodybuilding. So I think you're right, Ruben. Michael Hearn, it would get views. Maybe I should do that one this weekend. Right? Some say below a gram a week is still natty. Well, then I'm natty. We good then? Yeah, man, give it time. You guys can post some others up later, man. So we'll go through some of these. Let's start doing the natty or nots. Let's start doing it as a regular thing. Right? We can absolutely do it as a regular thing. Why not? Have some fun with it. Absolutely. So I got some other stuff I got to sort. I got to get some client stuff done. This gives me some stuff to work with. Yeah, I think it's time to bring this back. We're gonna do it. So love all you guys and gals. I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you next time. I will do another one of these late tonight. So I'm out.